gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this for July 6th, 2023. For the next hour or so, let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game Mess Mornings Live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, it seems like everyone is still on vacation, but at least there are some new Pokemon forums. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host of Game Mess Mornings. It's Jan Ochoa, everybody. Jan, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Everything's super concise, just settled down and thought, all right, this is going to be the social media. And then nope. Zuck had to be like, nah, y'all, I had a countdown. It's out now. And then, yeah, I'm Grubb. The thing I'm facing now,
yes,
is that my real life friends or the people I interact with on a daily basis, they're bleeding into my professional life.
Oh no.
And my professional life, as we all know, is just me obsessing over tiles.
Yes.
Hurrah.
Yep.
Coffee. Friends knew that already.
Well, right,
coffee.
yeah.
But I don't think I'm ready for them to see my bullshit.
Your friends are on Threads. Is that the problem?
That's the problem. They're on Threads.
That makes sense, right? Because they were probably already on Instagram. And Instagram, you can curate that to like really present your best self. The one that isn't a pervert for Pura. But we don't want that, Jan. We want that raw dog Jan shit. So we want you to feel safe to be able to express your true self. Threads, no way. They're not gonna let you do that there. They're gonna eat you alive.
My high school French teacher follows me on Instagram. She's probably gonna make a Threads. She thinks very highly of me.
For now.
Oh,
we'll see.
Man.
We'll see how long it lasts. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on all these things. I want to be where the people are, as a great philosopher once said. But I don't know. I'm also kind of we've done the rodeo a whole bunch of times. But no shady one who's like jumping around and be like, I'm over here. Of course, like yeah, get like have your followers follow you. But I'm just like, man, I don't really feel like doing this much anymore. Even like Twitter when it was working a few months back in this like weird period, I'm like, this just isn't as fun as it used to be. So it's a bummer. We just got to have our professional lives on there and keep our private lives. We need to make the private lives the ones that are weird. That's what we need to do.
Yes. See, because I have because I've done camera work in the past. I have a couple of actor friends, and I know that they all have two Instagrams. They have their real one for the real family, and then their one with their professional headshots. I'm like, do I do one for like work? I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to. I tried to have an alt account on Twitter for a while, and it's too much work. I can't keep things straight. I don't know what's supposed to go where. All right. It's a mess. Let's explain what we do here on this mess, though. Most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Okay, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess. That's a lie. We don't have a lot to get into. There's some stories to get into, but we'll get into this first one. Capcom considers making more Mega Man games. What's that, Jan?
Let's do it. Let's not go or all chip, no dip.
That's all chip, no dip, everybody. Brace yourselves. This is from Jonas Mackey at Game Reactor. Even though Resident Evil and Monster Hunter are Capcom's best-selling franchises, a lot of people would probably still consider Mega Man to be its mascot. But we haven't seen the Blue Bomber in any new adventures for a while, and when he does return, it's usually in a retro collection. Fortunately, Capcom hasn't forgotten about him and is currently considering how to approach new games in the franchise. In a recent Q&A session with Capcom shareholders, the company got the question about the future of Mega Man and replied with this. Including Mega Man 11, the latest entry in the franchise, Mega Man is one of Capcom's historic IPs and is loved by fans. And as such, we want to take care in how we develop the series. We are considering how to approach the production of new entries in the series, which requires numerous factors, including the development of a solid concept, ideas, and gameplay, etc. Obviously, Capcom's on a roll. They have a million things going. A lot of people are like, now is the time for you to go back and figure out Mega Man. Does this response from Capcom give you any sort of excitement or faith that they are going to give that a shot?
I feel like if this was any other company wanting to revive an older mascot or an older IP, no. But because it's Capcom and because Capcom has been on like a burner right now, like back-to-back bangers, I think I believe in Capcom. I think the question now is like which direction, which flavor of Mega Man do we go with? Do you go with like the classic, very difficult, challenging 2D side scroller? Do you go with something more serious like X? Or do we go back to something fun like Mega Man Legends? I think with where Mega Man currently sits in like the cultural zeitgeist, I think they kind of have a blank canvas where they can really approach and turn Mega Man into like a Mario like mascot flag bearer for Capcom.
Yep, I agree. I mean, he's had that position in the past. I think in terms of having games come out that establish that, I think you're right. And the blank canvas does feel like true. They could do a lot with Mega Man. I think they should be doing a lot with Mega Man. They should be doing a 2D game, but I think they probably should have a brand new game. We've talked about Ratchet and Clank like before. Mike Minotti is a big Mega Man fan, always points that out as a good touchstone for them to look toward. I think that's probably right. And then a Mega Man Legends 3. But hey, listen, I was watching wrestling and I saw somebody have a sign that said give us Mega Man Legends 3. So it's imminent if there was a sign at wrestling about it. That's how it works. But yeah, I mean, I think they could do a lot with Mega Man. I think they could also do it in a way that is relatively inexpensive for them, because Mega Man doesn't have to be as cutting edge as a Monster Hunter or Resident Evil in terms of visuals. You would hope that like they could come in with something like a fun concept and bring it back and get Mega Man going again. I do think that we probably will hear about something new with Mega Man in the next year or so. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I'd like for them to do what Nintendo did a couple times with some of their IP and just like license it out to other smaller devs and just let them do something like, Cadence of Hyrule was neat. I know it wasn't for everyone, but I like that take on the world of Zelda. I don't know, just give me a third person Mega Man. Ooh, the Penny Racer Pocket, the Yo-Yo Lady Grubb, the game that we keep remembering from that one Nintendo Direct. The Sonic Mania devs did it.
Oh yes, Mr. Brightside's Big Day Out or something like that.
Something Penny
Dreadful, the game, the movie. God, I used to have this memorized about a half hour ago. Penny's Big Breakaway. Thank you, Merlin.
Hey, we did it. Like a nice lighthearted 3D platformer like that, but throw Mega Man in it. Yes. And then you can make a Mega Man movie.
I would enjoy that. Everyone's mad at me for my guesses. Look, I was trying to pull something out there. I think if we can get something like a Penny's Big Breakaway, there we go. I had to look at it again. You're right. I look at that and I'm like, oh yeah, 3D platformers should have a place in gaming just like that. It does feel like that is coming from the Sonic Mania team, a team like kind of coming up from the bottom instead of being assigned by a publisher and working their way down to a 3D platformer. And that's probably where that genre is. A lot of genres are in that space where big publishers are sort of skeptical about approaching it and giving that a shot. I don't know if Capcom necessarily falls into that category. Capcom doesn't seem, they could probably pull off a lot. They have the talent, they have the engine, they have the experience, and they have the history. They could make all this stuff work. But in terms of like really where are these kinds of games going to come from in the future, it almost certainly is smaller teams getting their hands on the tools and the resources to make like their big leap forward. And their big leap forward is going to look a lot like a GameCube Dreamcast 3D platformer. And I think that's great. So like your idea of like combining those sort of upstart studios with an IP from Capcom, that would be, I kind of don't get why we don't get more of that. I'm sure there are a lot of reasons. I know we talked to John Drake at Disney a little bit, and he mentioned like how it's like, kind of hard for them to pull like to just go find a fan game and like work with them or something like that. That's not exactly how it works. There's a lot of legal red tape that prevents them from doing that. But it's like, man, just contracting a studio like that from the beginning to work with your IP. There's a lot of promise there. I would really like to see what that could look like.
God, I just want them to like oversaturate Mega Man because Mega Man deserves it.
Yep. It should be like, you walk into a mall, people do that or whatever, or you just open up Amazon and I get like 5 Sonic things. I should be getting just as much Capcom. I mean, Mega Man is right behind those guys, right? Mario, Sonic, and then I think Mega Man in terms of recognizability. Yes, that he seems like he should be right there, and they should be capitalizing on that. And then, to be fair, in terms of merchandising, they've never really slowed down on Mega Man with that stuff. So, yeah. All right, moving on. There's a rumor Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl 2 could be on the way, and there's kind of more confirmation that seems to be very likely. This comes from Alex Hopley at Game Reactor. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl may not have hit its full potential, but for a while now, fans have been wondering about the possibility of a sequel. A new image, which appears to show El Tiger in action against Garfield, was quote tweeted by the show's creator and one of the lead developers of the first game. There have also been other leaks, including one of a new model of Danny Phantom and a playable Squidward. All-Stars Brawl 2, Jan, does that sound like what you need?
Not what I need. And I don't even know if that's what the Smash community
Yeah,
needs.
that's my thought. What do you think about that?
Well, I feel like we saw the Warner Brothers game come and immediately go. And then there's all these different clones that have popped up. Like Brawl Stars is still a thing, or
Yes, it is.
God, there's another one that I'm thinking of. Is Master Chief in the Brawl Stars one, or
was he in one of these? He might have been in one.
Brawlhalla.
Brawlhalla. Yes, there we go. That's what it is.
And I know that within those Smash likes, they have their own niche communities outside of like the bigger Smash community that I just don't know what the appetite is outside of the initial boom or the initial release, and how sustainable these games can continue to be. Also because I don't know how much they appeal to the casual audience because of how different the controls are than what you'd expect them to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like with a fighting game, you can, especially with the different control systems now, you can hand someone an arcade stick or a controller and then they'd have a good time with Street Fighter 6. I don't know if you can do that with Smash right now.
Yeah. I think Smash is just, but Smash has the appeal and the depth and the popularity for a lot of people to get over that hump. So I think, right. But if you want to put one of these games, this is, putting out a sequel to Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, whatever it's called. It makes a lot of sense because you just want to make you want to just sell it like right as it comes out, get a little bit of money from that, and then maybe think about another sequel instead of trying to have a long-term support and trying to keep it interesting, like what they had to do with Multiverses. And now that game, went out of its quote unquote beta, and we're not going to get it back until early next year or whatever, because they had to try to run that as a free-to-play game. And it just wasn't working for them. So putting these out as products, like maybe aimed at kids and people who are nostalgic, I think it lowers the bar in terms of what they need to try to do to succeed with these things. And I think they keep that stuff in mind. Like the first one didn't have voice acting. Maybe don't cut that corner, cut some other corners. But I get like cutting corners and putting together a product that's just like, this is good enough for what it's going for, and for people who like these characters, including El Tigre, which apparently is how you pronounce that.
Tigre.
Thank you very much. But I'm like, yeah, there's people who are going to be like want to just show up for the Nickelodeon characters, and I think that's fair. It is better than what happened with Multiverses for sure, right?
Yes, 100%. Octo points this out in the chat, where Smash is only available on the Switch. There are other consoles. There's PC. There's mobile. And I guess the way that Nintendo has handled a lot of online stuff and just online communities surrounding their games does put a damper in wanting to go all the way in Smash. I mean, hell, they're still playing the GameCube one.
Yes. Good point.
So that colors that. So I guess there is a space for it. I just don't like them, Grubb.
Yeah.
I could just never get into them. But I do know that fighting aficionado, junior fighting scientist Ben Pack did think very highly of Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl when it originally came out. I think the downside of it was despite having all these characters and all these worlds, it just felt very muted because of no voice acting.
Yeah, that would be weird. Especially with those characters that are usually so vociferous. Is that the right word?
Yeah, sure.
I'm searching my mental dictionary today.
Fun word I heard the other day?
Huh.
Malodorous.
Well, okay, what's that one?
Bad smelling. Smelling bad.
All right, fantastic. Nickelodeon. It's I grew up with that. I like it a lot, but it's and I definitely see the nostalgia for it like on 9-hour YouTube videos sometimes. But it never became anywhere near as popular as Disney and things like that. Like was that like because like what do you think that was? Was it just like the lack of characters, or like the ownership corporation didn't treat it as important as Disney treats their characters?
I feel like it's more so the second case,
Yeah.
right? Where SpongeBob, I think at one point could have come for Mickey Mouse's crown.
Yeah, sure.
And I know that Mike will disagree and he may pop in to argue this, but I think it is just misdirection and mishandling from the tippy top. Because I feel like Ren and Stimpy, I've never liked it, but I know that it holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah.
Same thing with Rocko's Modern Life.
Yes.
Never really appealed to me, but I know that it appeals to a lot of people. Thank you, Mike, for abstaining. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the floor. But I feel like, how cool does like a SpongeBob like park sound? And it sounds insane. But I don't think any Nickelodeon ever capitalized on that. What I want is to put iCarly in Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. Please. Put Miranda Cosgrove in this game.
I would love to see her just destroying Garfield, just absolutely stepping on him and just leaving him as a puff of fur, and that's it. That is the direction I saw Nickelodeon go in, of like trying to get the tweens with the live action weird sitcoms.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
SpongeBob's Cox. Everyone get a grip. Goodbye.
What? Okay. Okay.
All right. This Nickelodeon, apparently kids don't care about it anymore. I know Mike says his nieces and nephews don't care. I don't think my kids even know what that word would refer to. If I were to ask them, like, do you like Nickelodeon? I don't think they would even know what that question means. So,
hey, SpongeBob is for the kids, man.
That's true. They have watched some SpongeBob and they've been okay with it.
That last SpongeBob game was not bad. I think the gimmicks would enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I'll get them started with Battle for Bikini Bottom. Is that what that is? And then
the one where Patrick is just floating around. I think they'd actually like it.
Okay, and then they did that sequel. Okay, I'll see if they want to give that a shot. They are fine with SpongeBob for the most part, I think.
Okay.
All right, next up, an Exoprimal showcase is set for next week. This comes from Alex Hopley at Game Reactor. 4 days from release, or 3, technically, for those over in the UK and Europe. Capcom is hosting an Exoprimal showcase. The showcase will take place at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on the 10th of July, which means it'll be taking place at 12:30 a.m. and 1:30 a.m. for BST and CEST, Central European Standard Time. We're set to learn more about the war games in Exoprimal, and Capcom has promised a few surprises as well. The game launches on July 14th and will be available from day one on Xbox Game Pass. PlayStation versions are also available. We'll try this. I mean, it's a Game Pass game. Why wouldn't we try it? How are you feeling about it otherwise? Do you feel like a showcase could maybe put you over the top for a dinosaur shooter or whatever, or what? Where are you at with this game?
I think I've learned from Final Fantasy 16 to not immediately judge something and think it's going to be Garbo.
Yeah.
And that there is a lot of utility and good use for putting out a proper demo and a showcase of actually playing something. And hey, for the longest time, I thought Helldivers was weird. We played it yesterday, so I think there's a lot of value of also playing with friends for playing a multiplayer game with friends rather than just trying to just go through it solo or convince your real life friends to download and play a game with you. You know what? The Guardians of the Galaxy game trailers also didn't play well.
That's right. Yeah, I did not like the look of that game, and then ended up loving the game when I finally played it.
So in Exoprimal Showcase, I think it'll be useful. I think it'll be great. I think I want these dinosaurs. I really want to love this game, Grubb.
Yeah, I've definitely heard people have fun with it. People talk about playing in the previous beta test or alphas, whatever they were, and some people mentioned having a really good time with it. So I think at the very least we will probably get a couple good streams out of it, and that's pretty good. And I'm fine with experiencing a game like that. I don't know if Exoprimal is gonna turn into like a long-term sort of ongoing concern for Capcom. But if it pops off here and we have a fun couple of weeks, that's good enough for me. I don't know if it's good enough for Capcom. I think putting it in Game Pass, or if they had put it in PlayStation Network, that's always a good idea for a game like this. Yeah. One that's going to rely on having a lot of people playing. Getting in one of those services, one or the other, is a really good idea. And I think that's really what I'm waiting for. So the showcase can come along. I'll pay attention to it. We'll probably talk about it on this show, but really, like most of you, I'm at a point where I just got to play this game and find out for myself what it's about.
Hey, unrelated, but remember Wild Hearts came out this year?
I was just thinking how weird that was, because I was like looking at a list of someone like being like, look how good this year's been, and Wild Hearts was on there. I'm like, wait, that name sounds familiar. What is that? Oh yeah, I liked that game. That was fun.
Yeah, that game was cool. I wish I got further into it.
Yeah, me too.
I hope Exoprimal doesn't follow that same pattern.
Yeah, I mean, so many games, so much to play. I am still playing Tears of the Kingdom. I am probably 90 to 100 hours into that, and I'm still kind of just cleaning stuff up before I've even done the fourth temple, let alone, clean up the end game or whatever. So, and that's, just one game, and there's like 4 or 5 others I want to be playing before Exoprimal even gets here. And by the time it's here, there's going to be even more. So yeah.
Grubb, I started Octopath Traveler 2. I don't have time for all.
You really don't have time for that one. Although I played a little bit of it, and I think it seems much better than the first one. I really did not click with the first one at all.
I blame Michael Heim and Ben Starr.
I mean, yeah, of course, they deserve it. For real. Exoprimal game launches July 14th. All right. Next story, Xbox Game Pass for July adds GTA 5 and Exoprimal, as well as more. This comes from Stephen Mills at Destructoid. It's that time again. The list of games being added to Xbox Game Pass for July has been revealed. There are only a few new titles being added to the Game Pass this time around, but it includes a couple of day one releases. As is tradition with Xbox Game Pass, the list focuses on the first half of the month. The second wave of games for July will probably be revealed in a couple of weeks. According to the post, the highlight for July is the return of Grand Theft Auto 5. Unfortunately, only the console version is being added to Game Pass, but it does include both Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S versions. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the big open world game, blah, blah, blah. Jesus Christ, we don't need to describe Grand Theft Auto 5. But Exoprimal is one of the other big ones there. We mentioned this coming to Game Pass, but that is how I think most people are going to experience a game like that, because you need to know if it's for you before you go ahead and drop money on it. I think a lot of times, obviously, there are people who are just going to take chances, and some people who are going to take chances because their friends have Game Pass and they're going to get the game through there, and they're going to be playing, and they're going to want to play with them, and they're like, Game Pass has never been for me. I'll just buy the game. So that network effect is really powerful for that. I'm not surprised that Exoprimal is a day one Game Pass game. For me, the surprising game that being a day one Game Pass game, and it's not on this list, it's not coming out for a while, but it's another Capcom game, is that Path of the Goddess game, which is a single player sort of character action game. And I don't know, it just seems like Capcom, a company that does not struggle to sell games at all, has bought in on Game Pass in a way that I find pretty surprising. Are you surprised by it?
I think I'm surprised by it as well, because I guess I don't remember there being such a strong relationship between Microsoft and Capcom. I'm like racking my brain for like anything in the past for that, and I don't remember anything. Like, I don't remember an exclusive. I guess Dead Rising was on the Xbox.
Yes.
Was that an Xbox exclusive? It was, right?
Yes, there was a handful of them. Was it like 3 and 4? I
think the first one as well was like only
maybe
Xbox.
Was it? Does it go all the way back? I guess that's right. Yeah. I think back then I wasn't paying attention to it because it's like 360 was my default that generation. So it being a 360 game, I'm like, well, that's just where I'm playing it. But yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Dead Rising 3 was an Xbox One launch game. I remember that being like one of the highlights for that system.
So I guess there's precedent for a positive relationship. Oh, Grubb, you're still on the LT gray screen.
Oh, yep. Thank you. I'll fix that right now.
I guess there's a precedent for that relationship, but I think it's surprising that Capcom, out of all the companies, is like going fully in with like Game Pass. I'm like, no, we do well, but like we could still do just as well with Game Pass. But I think Exoprimal is probably like the best use case for Game Pass. But Path of Goddess, I think I am also surprised that like, oh, like does Capcom get a more like a better deal compared to other publishers?
Probably.
Right?
I mean, I think the one thing, they haven't shared any real details about how those negotiations work, and I think that itself is evidence that every single deal is bespoke, and they make specific contracts for each and every company, and that suggests to me that a company like Capcom that would have a lot of leveraging power gets almost a sweetheart deal, I would assume.
Right. Oh, and probably Sega and Atlas have a better deal.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, Sega and Atlas have had a lot of success putting their stuff on Game Pass. They keep bringing back, like, the next time they have another game, they go back in Game Pass a lot of times, at least eventually. And that there's Persona games, introducing that to the Xbox audience by putting those in Game Pass. That has seemed to work really well for them. Mm-hmm. That's true of like a lot of Japanese RPGs get that same sort of bump. So yeah, I think that's I think that's definitely the case. Yeah.
And like the Game Pass effect does work on me as well, where it's like I'll see something on Game Pass and be like, oh, I should just buy that. It happens so often, and I hate it. Like, I have PC Game Pass, but I'm like, oh, I could buy this on Steam. Oh, I'll buy this on the PS5. It's also available there. So I guess that knock-on effect is also kind of useful for these publishers and developers of like, I bought Hi-Fi Rush despite being able to play it on Game Pass. I was like, I want to play this on my Steam Deck.
Yep.
And then I've done that countless times now for other games.
Yeah, I definitely, I know what you mean, where it's like, trying games on Game Pass is very helpful, especially now with the cloud stuff. It's very easy just to boot something up and give it a shot. All right, Battlebit sells nearly 2 million units in 14 days. This is from Jeffrey Rousseau at gamesindustry.biz. Game studio Sergeant Okie Dokie announced that its newest title, Battlebit Remastered, has sold 1.8 million copies. As reported by PC Gamer, the low-polygon multiplayer shooter hit the sales milestone within 2 weeks after its launch. Battlebit was first announced in 2016 for Steam. In an interview with How to Market a Game, the small development detailed how they worked on making the game a commercial success. One of the studio's decisions was to change the game's development direction. If you are planning to make a multiplayer game, don't. I am not going to lie, don't. And this is from one of the developers over there. Make a single player game if this is your first game. It is very trying. If you are going to accept that, you are going to be slammed by a hammer. Okay, listen, yeah, I imagine running a multiplayer game, and especially from an indie point of view, has got to be very difficult, especially one as successful as Battlebit. Have you seen this game? It's the low polygon, what looks like a battlefield, and everyone's been playing it. We should probably get in there, give it a shot ourselves, but seems to be like the new hotness and has really taken off. But if you're a small studio, it's got to be awesome to make a ton of money, but it also has to be pretty harrowing trying to serve a AAA level of gamers with your small development team, right?
Yeah, making a game is difficult as is. I don't even know how you start to balance like server load, especially if a game starts to blow up like this and incurs like 2 million players. And I know that's not 2 million concurrently, but like that's still a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like, how do you handle the server people? Do you just call Bezos and be like, we need more? And then, God, like when something does become popular, then you got to start worrying about banning people when people become trash, because people always become trash because we are all trash. It's I don't know. I've never heard of this, but good for them to get to 2 million in 14 days. Oh no, if I haven't heard of this, does it mean I'm old now? No.
The like games bubbling out of Steam. Like is that a young person's thing, or is that just like a hardcore weirdo gamer thing?
Maybe that's like is that like a Twitch adjacent thing of
it's definitely Twitch adjacent. Yes.
Oh man. No, it's a gamer thing. Oh man, I'm not a real gamer.
You know what? We can rectify this. We can try Battlebit because I think it looks very fun. Let's see. Someone in chat mentioned that it looks like Battlefield 2 plus the destruction of Bad Company. and yeah, that's Octo. And I think that is that's a
That
very
sounds
exciting
cool.
proposition. I'm sorry, what was that?
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
Like is Bacalar like a Battlefield guy? I don't know.
we can make him one. We'll make him one.
All right.
This seems like and again, coming up from the indie scene and taking over genres. That usually happens when a major company like abandons a genre. We're not going to make immersive sims anymore, or whatever. And it's like, okay, I guess we could start figuring that out. We'll get Unreal and we'll start poking around, see what we can do. And 10 years later, their game finally comes out. The idea of a small studio out battlefielding dice and Electronic Arts. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, totally. That last Battlefield, apologies to the devs, was miserable.
Yeah.
It was a miserable experience. Wasn't the multiplayer messed up from the get-go?
Yeah, there was definitely issues with it. It was also, I think it was kind of just a boring game once you got past the idea of like the cool weather tech. And that's, God, every Battlefield has had something wrong with it pretty much since 4. I don't remember 3. 3 seemed to be pretty good, but 4 had so many issues, and then everything since that's just been a real rough go for them.
Battlebit is just a 3-person team?
That's insane. Jesus. That's insane. So yeah, I mean, but that's the world that this is, again, not to make everything about the Activision merger with Microsoft, but sure. The idea that like any one company could go, even just buying Call of Duty, and now you have a monopoly. It's like, man, the next big game, the next Call of Duty killer is not going to be from some studio. You're going to be able to we're going to identify them and just go buy them. It's going to come out of nowhere like this. And yeah, it's impressive. Kid Icarus Uprising director Sakurai would love a follow-up, but says it seems difficult. This comes from Chris Scullion of VGC. Kid Icarus director Masahiro Sakurai has said he would love to see a new Kid Icarus game, but that it seems difficult without a team in place to work on it. In the latest video on his Masahiro Sakurai on Creating Games YouTube channel, Sakurai goes into detail on some of the design choices made during development of Kid Icarus Uprising, which was released on the 3DS in 2012. Sakurai, who also created the Kirby and Smash Brothers series, says he was asked by Nintendo's Satoru Iwata to make a new game for the then in development 3DS hardware, so he opted for a third-person rail shooter. According to Sakurai, the game didn't originally have an existing IP attached, but he decided to make it a Kid Icarus game because the character had recently been redesigned for his inclusion in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and fans were asking for a new game in the series. At the end of the video, Sakurai points out that he would love to see a new Kid Icarus game released, but appreciates that it may not be possible given that Project Sora, the bespoke studio set up to make Uprising, not to be confused with Sakurai's main studio, Sora Inc., is no longer active. In the end, I think the final game turned out to be a showpiece title, Sakurai says of Kid Icarus Uprising in the video. It's a shame that it's only lived on 3DS, as I'd love to play on a bigger screen with smoother graphics, but without a team around to work on it, crafting a follow-up seems difficult. Now, one of the rumors for a while now has been that Kid Icarus Uprising is not going to get a follow-up, as Sakurai keeps mentioning here and saying how that would be difficult, but is going to get a port that to the Switch. It feels like that was happening. It would have ended up, or maybe if it was happening soon, I guess, would have been in that last Direct. But it still seems like something that's possible. And especially with Nintendo working with external partners, and that like external partners like Bandai Namco, I think, who worked on Smash Brothers. Well, Smash Brothers is not under active development anymore in terms of new content. So like you have that partnership and you have that team that's used to working with Nintendo. What could they work on next? It seems like a Kid Icarus Uprising would be a good fit for that, but maybe that's just me being hopeful as someone who never got around to playing that game on 3DS and would really like to play it on Switch. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, my only experience with Kid Icarus is really just through Smash. Was this the Kid Icarus game that came with the special stand?
Yes, it is. It's exactly what it is. The little kind of not even a tripod, just like this podium that you would rest the 3DS on. Like and the 3DS would have like a little point, and you could put it in the little divot on this stand to hold it up there. And it was very weird.
I'm going to choose to believe that Sakurai just like spent like a good 2 months just with paper and plastic, just trying to piece that together. Yeah, I don't know. This would be great. I would love for more remakes of older niche games that may not have found their target audience back then to come out onto the Switch. more people have Switches, I'm assuming, than 3DSs. Is that true?
I think that's true now. God,
Okay.
that is actually true now. That is 3DS was very successful. It's not as successful as the DS, but yeah, because the Switch is just behind PS2 and DS, I think, and that's it.
Oh,
so,
well, there you go.
So then, yes, it must be ahead of the 3DS.
Yeah, and people are chiming off in the chat that the story is very weird and off the rails, and I guess I need to see that for whatever Kid Icarus is supposed to be. Does he die? Does he fly too close to the sun, Grubb?
He flies too close to his son. Kid Icarus ends up becoming a father. It's a metaphor. You got it. You see.
Oh, yeah. Man.
It's
about fatherhood. Wow.
It's tragic, yes. He says boy a lot. Maybe I'm mixing it up with another game now that I'm thinking about it. All right, let's move on. I would like to see that. Also, people pointed out Sakurai has teased a possible port of that game before, and I think he's been teasing it on purpose. And I think that's why his language here is very specific, where a follow-up would be difficult, he says. He doesn't say that a port to the new... He says, I would love to see it, taken off the 3DS. He doesn't say that would be difficult, so we'll see.
Pretty sneaky, sis.
Take-Two Interactive plans to bring back 2 games by March 2024. This is from VideoTech on Twitter. Take-Two has unveiled its plans for fiscal 2024, which spans from now until March 2024. Among their initiatives for this period, they have mentioned the release of 2 previously released titles. As of now, I don't recall that this is from VideoTech by the way. I don't recall them officially announcing these projects yet. Of course, Red Dead Redemption 1 was rated by the South Korean rating board a couple weeks ago. Also, some sources have pointed out that seems very likely. The statements about wanting to bring back 2 previously released games were previously made in May, and now Take-Two it seems like they are they're imminently going to announce Red Dead Redemption 1. It seems like what the other game could be, who knows? But when Take-Two does say something like previously released titles, they are referring to either a new iteration of the game, like a HD remaster, or just a straight up port. So that other game could be anything. But Red Dead Redemption 1, this seems very likely. We talked about it yesterday. Jim, what's your hopes for that though? What is the best case scenario for Red Dead Redemption 1?
I don't know, Grubb. Maybe it'd make me fall in love with cowboys again.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah. It has Hangman Adam Page in it somehow.
That'd be very good. You could summon him and just Kenny Omega for some reason.
Yeah, let's do that. So, Grubb, this is a blank spot in my gaming history, and I've always been ashamed to say this, but is Bully good?
Jan, Bully is a blank spot in mine as well.
Wow, okay.
Ooh, that could be a fun one. We should play that.
Yeah, let's bully children.
Let's bully. God, I hate to see a kid go unbullied. Jan, that's my big thing.
Mike, too? This is also a blank spot in your history?
It could be fun. It could be a fun one. We'll see what we could do. I think that would be a great way to experience that game, though. So, the bully club.
Because I've seen people talk for days about remake Bully, bring back Bully. But instead of playing Bully, I chose to play the Warriors game, which I thought was great.
Yes, I played a little bit of that. I just played State of Emergency. You know me, big State of Emergency head over here.
That's right, State of Emergency, the number one game. I remember the dude, he had the tummy, and he crossed his arms.
Yeah, that's right, on the EGM cover. Oh yeah, that's exactly right. For sure. And Space Station Silicon Valley, if we're just going for deep cut Rockstar DMCA design games. DMCA is not the name. DMA Designs, I think is what it is. DMCA is something very different. Bully, what's the weirdest version of Bully we could play? Is it the Wii one? Should we play the Wii version of Bully? That'd be fun.
I'm so ready to say that Bully is better than Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, I just want to go out there and say that mostly. I want to annoy people. That's where I'm at. That's my fun. All right, Jan, I need your input here. Pokemon launches official community forums, and it's already a disaster. This is from Liam Doolin at Nintendo Life. The Pokemon Company recently launched official community forums on its website, allowing trainers to stay up to date with the latest news, discuss all things related to Pokemon, and even help out other community members. While it sounds like a great way for trainers to interact with each other, the forums are already in need of some serious moderation. I do have a list of forum threads here. I'm just going to read them off here. The first one is which girl would you tickle torment? The second thread here is which Pokemon is the hottest? Again, this is the official Pokemon forums. I am immeasurably attracted to Gardevoir. Is that how I say that? Gardevoir?
Yeah, Gardevoir. Yeah.
Does anyone think Charizard as my profile picture looks homeless? Miiverse is back. And then the last one is, who in the world thought this was a good idea? Listen, I'm glad that this exists, but this does have strong Miiverse vibes of just people being completely insane on an official Nintendo or Nintendo related forum here. You gonna go dive in, Jen?
No.
Yeah.
No. The thing, see, Grubb, I love Pokemon, or maybe loved Pokemon. The worst part about Pokemon is the fandom.
Yes.
Behind Pokemon.
Yep. Just a 13-year-old asking you if his Charizard looks homeless is a very depressing thing to me.
No, see, the thing is that's not a 13-year-old. That's probably a 34-year-old.
Yeah, you're probably right.
These people are in their 30s.
Yeah, no kid's going to want to use an online like web forum. That's I really don't think kids use that kind. They would just use like social media. They're using threads. That's where the kids are.
The kids are using threads. They've got their weird discords popping off. They're different little servers. But it's the millennials and the elder millennials that are going through these forums.
It's the darn millennials.
And that are asking each other, which girl would you tickle torment?
Yes. Jan, I'm going to share something with you real quick, and it didn't mess everything up, so that's fantastic. We're going to look at this. I'm going to make it audible. It's the Stadium Stampede Battle Royale teaser for AEW Fight Forever. We are, I don't know, maybe not necessarily fans, but we enjoyed our time with AEW Fight Forever, so I'm interested to see how they're going to support it. They have promised to support it for up to 2 years. I want to see what that first step looks like. Well, here is the Stadium Stampede Battle Royale teaser, and see if there's anything to this. All right, so there's just a lady running through the. Okay, yeah. Oh, that looks fun. Okay, so they're actually like in a stadium, and they're not in the ring. They're like running through the field. They're running through the stands. Someone was on top of the goalpost. Someone's getting electrocuted and set on fire. There's Sting. All right, Sting's here finally. That looks pretty good, actually.
That looks fun.
I'm into that. That does look fun. I mean, who knows how long it's going to be fun, but at least it's an idea, and you hope that like there could be a little bit of a sandbox of just like what can we do in this space. I don't know. I'm down.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, there's a reminder here. Microsoft is raising Xbox game prices on Thursday. This comes from Tom Ivan at VGC. As announced last month, from July 6th, prices will rise in most markets, excluding Norway, Chile, Denmark, Switzerland, and Saudi Arabia. The monthly price of an Xbox Game Pass subscription for console will increase from $9.99 to $10.99. The Xbox Game Pass Ultimate price will go from $15 up to $17. PC game pricing, PC Game Pass pricing will not be changing at this time. I got a couple years early on, like a lot of people did, and I think mine expired. And I do believe I saw a charge for $15 for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on my statement last month. So I'm now paying for it. This mostly serves to me as a reminder of, do I want to have that just ongoing, or should I just get Game Pass as I need it? And I think if the price increase hadn't happened, Jan, I wouldn't be thinking about it so much. But just having this front of mind and be like, oh, it's even more money now. And it's not like, it's $2 more per month, but any sort of price increase like it gets me thinking this way is probably going to be rough for them. I think I might actually put it to the side. I mean, Starfield will be here. I'll get a code for that, hopefully. But even if I wasn't, it's like, okay, I'll wait till Starfield is here. Even in that case, Starfield, you get it early if you get the special edition, and I kind of want the watch and stuff. So I might just put Game Pass on the side for a little bit. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think we need to all do that as a society of just like, hey, temporarily pause or cancel your subscriptions if you're not using them. You won't miss out on anything. I really need to cancel my Fortnite Club subscription.
Jesus, me too.
That's a reminder for you and I, Grubb.
Yep. I did just get charged for a subscription to my daughter's LOL Dolls game as well, so I got to cancel that. We'll do that. Oh, no, never mind. I'll keep it. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so for me, because I'm only on Game Pass PC, it doesn't affect me as much. But for other folks that are primarily using the regular Game Pass, I could see this being off-putting, especially when there isn't something on the service right now. I see a lot of folks canceling or pausing and then re-upping when something like Starfield comes out. And then if they click with Starfield or not, then they can circle back and check out other games that have come out in that wake, like Exoprimal maybe.
Yep, absolutely. Propaganda Panda did put this story in the chat about Peter Molyneux teasing a new game. I did see that. He says, never been seen in a game before is what his new project is going to do. We haven't heard that one before, Peter. Can't wait to see what you've done next. Can't wait to see what you've done now. All right. I've got a poll question here from yesterday. Let's bring that up. What do you think the price of the PS5 Slim is going to be? $400 to $450? Well, 54% think that's where it's going to land. 27% believe it's going to be $451 to $500, and 19% believe it'll be $501 to $550. Jan, what do you think? Because I am leaning towards $500.
I think the optimist in me wants it to be $400 to $450, but I'm with you. I think it's going to be $500.
It's I could see $450. Like $450 seems plausible. I don't think it'll go all the way down to $400 though. But I think they could also just get away with making the discless Slim $500, and really, who's gonna complain? Like, I think a lot of people will complain, but I think a lot of people will keep buying PlayStation 5s as well. So why would they give that money up? I don't know. I guess we'll see. But most people do believe that a Slim without the disc drive, because that's what the Slim is rumored to be, is going to be $400 to $450.
I feel like Sony's been making big steps and big maneuvers with pricing on products, because like, isn't the cloud device like their weird, not Steam Deck equivalent, but like their weird, like we just ultra handed a PS5 controller to a screen? Isn't that supposedly $300?
I don't know if we got a price rumor for that.
Okay, I thought I may have seen a tweet saying it was $300, but
I mean, Jan, that would not surprise me at all if it was $300. No. Yeah, but it's like you're right, like a screen without any like local processing, not any real local processing. It's not like, oh, you'll be able to play indie games on this on the go. No, it's a local only streaming device, and that's $300. And then for just $100 more, you get the PS, like the PS5, because it's not like alongside the Slim, they're going to be introducing the Pro. The Pro might come, but it's not going to be coming alongside the Slim. So, and the Slim is meant to replace, according to the story, meant to replace both the PS5 and the PS5 Digital Edition. So all they're really accomplishing in terms of the average sales price is lowering it by about $100. And it's like, that does not sound like something Sony would do. So we'll see. All right. New poll for tomorrow. Jan, I have this in the doc. Are you going to keep your Xbox Game Pass subscription after the price increase? Yes, no. And then the other answer is, I already locked in a year plus at the old price. So, which, you can still do. You have a little bit of time. I think the price increase does happen today, I guess. So, yeah, if you want to get in under the wire there, you might still be able to do that. Although I suppose maybe it's possible it already went up and I haven't seen it yet. Jen, you said you were thinking about doing the same thing of like maybe just only getting it as you need it.
Yeah, well, I'm PC Game Pass, so I guess I'll just let that keep rocking. I should probably pause that because I haven't looked at it in a while.
Yeah.
And I'm just being financially cavalier with my finances.
Yep, so you and me both. I'll tell you, I got the Asus ROG, and I'm going to keep saying ROG, even though it's ROG, Ally. And having that, it's like, okay, PC Game Pass is a no-brainer for that thing. But even then, it's like, I'm still playing some of my Steam games, and Diablo 4 is here. It's nice to have all those options on something where all that stuff just works. So, yeah. That's right. I'm part of the Republic of Gamers. Okay, Jam, what do we have happening on Giant Bomb for the rest of the week?
I believe we have a Be Light Club later today, as well as an episode of the Voicemail Dump Truck tomorrow, another installment of Game Mess Mornings, as well as UPF. I don't think we determined what UPF would be, but I think it might just be Battlebits.
Maybe we should just do Battlebit. I would be totally down with Battlebit. That would be fun.
Battlebits. Yesterday, Tam Grubb, myself, and eventually Mike did check out Helldivers. We had ourselves a little hoedown. A lot of shenanigans popped off. So yeah, go check that out. That was fun. It
was a good time. Jan, thank you so much for spending today talking with me about video games, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Grubb. The best way to start a Thursday.
And thank you all for watching and listening. You are the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye. Okay. Let's see. Hot mics, hot cam for me.